The day Sophia, my daughter Danielle's best friend, visited our house stands out as one of the most chaotic yet exhilarating moments of my life. It began on an ordinary Saturday afternoon, the sun sinking low, casting a warm golden glow through the living room windows. I stood at the kitchen counter, sipping water, the evening news humming softly in the background. With Danielle away on a camping trip with her college friends, the house felt unusually quiet, almost still. I expected a calm weekend, a chance to catch my breath. Then the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. Setting down my glass, I opened the door to find Sophia standing there, her dark eyes flickering with hesitation, her posture almost apologetic. "Hey, Mrs. Johnson," she said with a sheepish smile. "I hope I'm not bothering you. Danielle told me to stop by if I needed to borrow anything for the trip, but I didn't realize she'd already left." Sophia had been Danielle's friend for years. I'd watched her grow from an awkward teenager into a confident, athletic young woman. There was always a quiet maturity about her, a warmth in her smile that put people at ease. She was polite, thoughtful, the kind of friend any parent would want for their child. "It's no bother," I said, stepping aside to let her in. "What do you need?" She shifted her weight, looking slightly embarrassed. "I forgot my sleeping bag at home. I thought Danielle might have a spare." I chuckled, shaking my head. "She probably does. Let me check the garage." I gestured for her to follow, and as we walked, I couldn't help but notice how much she changed since I'd last seen her. She was taller, more confident, her shirt clinging to a frame that spoke of regular gym sessions. A strange pang of awareness hit me, which I quickly pushed aside. In the garage, I rummaged through camping gear until I found a spare sleeping bag, brushing off the dust before handing it to her. "Here you go," I said. "Danielle won't mind." She smiled, genuine and warm. "Thanks, Mrs. Johnson." She hesitated, then added, "Do you mind if I hang out for a bit? My ride's not coming for another hour, and I don't want to sit in the car." "Of course," I said, leading her back to the kitchen. I brewed a pot of coffee, and we chatted about her classes, her summer plans, the camping trip. Sophia was easy to talk to, her thoughtful responses making the conversation flow naturally. But as we spoke, I noticed something different. Her gaze lingered a moment too long, her body shifted closer as she leaned against the counter. When she reached for her mug and her fingers brushed mine, a jolt ran through me. "Sorry," she said, pulling back quickly. "It's fine," I replied, forcing a chuckle. "I'm just clumsy." But the air between us had thickened, charged with something unspoken. I tried to dismiss it, blaming my imagination, but the tension was undeniable. "Mrs. Johnson," Sophia said after a long pause, her voice softer, "can I ask you something?" I turned to face her, my pulse quickening. "Of course." She hesitated, her gaze dropping to the floor before meeting mine. "Have you ever felt like you wanted something you knew you shouldn't?" The question caught me off guard, my heart racing. "That's a heavy question," I said, trying to keep my tone light. She gave a self-conscious laugh, running a hand through her hair. "Yeah, sorry. I've just been thinking about it a lot lately." Her vulnerability made my chest tighten. I wanted to ask what she meant, but I wasn't sure I was ready for the answer. "Sometimes we want things that aren't good for us," I said carefully. "It's human nature. But that doesn't mean we have to act on them." She nodded, her gaze distant. "Yeah, I guess you're right." The conversation grew sparse, the coffee untouched as a heavy silence settled over us. It wasn't uncomfortable, but it wasn't normal either. It was charged, like something unsaid was waiting to break free. Sophia leaned back, stretching slightly, and I caught a glimpse of taut, tanned skin as her shirt lifted. I looked away, my face warming, scolding myself for the thought. "So," I said, breaking the silence, "are you excited about the camping trip?" She shrugged, a small smile playing on her lips. "It's more for Danielle. She loves that stuff. I'm just there for the company." Her words made me smile. That sounds like you, always looking out for her. You've been a great friend to Danielle. She toyed with her mug, her voice quiet. She's been a good friend to me too. After a pause, she added, you've been good to me too. Her tone carried a softness that unsettled me. I just mean, she continued, you've always made me feel welcome, like part of the family. That's not something I take for granted. I nodded, unsure how to respond. Well, you are part of the family, Sophia. At least that's how I see it. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Thanks, Mrs. Johnson. Then, almost as an afterthought, you can call me Sophia, you know. The Mrs. Johnson thing feels too formal. I chuckled. All right, Sophia. But only if you stop calling me Mrs. Johnson. Deal, she said, her grin easing the tension. We moved to the living room, settling on the couch as the sun set, the soft glow of a table lamp casting warm shadows. After a long silence, Sophia spoke again. Can I ask you something? I braced myself. Of course. Her voice was tentative. Have you ever felt like there was something you couldn't say out loud, even though you really wanted to? I frowned, caught off guard. I think everyone feels that way at some point, I said carefully. But sometimes saying it out loud is the only way to move forward. She nodded, her gaze fixed on the floor. Yeah, but what if saying it changes everything? A chill ran through me. Sometimes change is a good thing, I said, my voice steady despite my racing heart. Even if it's scary at first. She looked up, her eyes locking onto mine. What if it's not? The weight of her gaze was almost too much, and I looked away, unsure how to navigate the shift in our conversation. I guess it depends on what you're afraid of. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I'm afraid of ruining this. Of ruining what we have. Her vulnerability hit me hard, and my heart clenched. Sophia, never mind, she said quickly, standing abruptly. I should go. My ride's probably close. I stood too, instinctively reaching out, my hand closing around her arm. She froze, her eyes wide. You don't have to go, I said softly. Not if you don't want to. Her gaze met mine, and for a moment, neither of us moved. The air felt electric, heavy with possibility. I don't know what I'm doing, she admitted, her voice trembling. I just know I don't want to leave. Confusion and longing swirled within me, leaving me breathless. Sophia, I said, my voice barely audible, we can't. I know, she whispered, but her hand brushed mine, sending a spark through me. I wanted to step back, to put distance between us, but I couldn't. Instead, I leaned into the moment, my heart pounding. Then her lips brushed mine soft, tentative, testing. My mind screamed to pull away, but my body froze, and as the kiss deepened, I felt the world fall away. When we parted, Sophia's breath was shallow, her hand hovering near mine. I'm sorry, she blurted, stepping back. I didn't mean to, I don't know what I was thinking. My chest tightened, my heart pounding. Sophia, it's okay, I said, though I wasn't sure it was. She paced the room, her voice shaky. No, it's not. Danielle would kill me if she knew. The mention of my daughter brought a cold wave of reality. This was wrong, yet the tension between us remained unrelenting. Sophia, I said gently, we need to talk about this. She stopped pacing, her shoulders tense. What is there to talk about? I crossed a line. I messed up. I took a step closer, my hands trembling. It's not just you, I admitted. I felt it too. Her eyes widened, the air crackling with unspoken words. Then she shook her head. We can't. You're Danielle's mom. I'm her best friend. This isn't supposed to happen. I know, I whispered, but it already has. The silence that followed was suffocating. She sat on the couch, burying her face in her hands. I wanted to say something to make it easier, but I didn't know how. After what felt like an eternity, she looked up, her eyes filled with fear and longing. What do we do now? I sat beside her, leaving space between us. I don't know, I admitted. But we need to figure it out. She nodded, her gaze dropping. I don't want to lose this your friendship, your trust. Her words hit me hard. You're not going to lose me, I said, placing a hand on her shoulder. No matter what, we'll figure this out. We talked for hours, the tension never fully easing. Sometimes our hands brushed, each touch reigniting the pull between us. As the clock ticked past midnight, Sophia stood, her movements hesitant. I should go. I followed her to the door, my chest tightening. Take care of yourself, I said. She paused, turning to look at me. You too. And thank you for not hating me. I managed a small smile. There's nothing to hate, Sophia. Just be careful. She nodded, her gaze lingering before she stepped into the night.